Hey guys, Jake from Full Access UTV. Today we're going to talk KRX wheel bearings and why you should maintain them. Basically, we just came out with the new KRX4 bearing greaser. This bearing greaser will work on the front or the rear wheel bearings of KRX. It'll also work on multiple Polaris vehicles, and it's a simple tool. And it's one of those things that I believe you need to do when you're doing maintenance. I mean, so when do you do it? Hey, that's up to you guys. You guys know what you're riding and how wet you're getting them or dirty or so on and so forth for yourself. But for me, I think every third oil change is when I'm checking my wheel bearings. So talk about wheel bearings. Average car, 45,000 miles, and they're recommending you change the wheel bearings. Well, obviously we're never gonna get there with these, but the other thing is we have really small wheel bearings, well, bigger than Polaris and Can-Ams, but regardless, we're running big tires, 35s and stuff, and that's a lot of extra abuse on the smaller bearings. The other thing is we're going into creeks, we're going into rivers. East Coast guys are hanging out in the mud. You're getting water and all kinds of different contaminants in these things, and you don't want it. So on the UTVs, yeah, it needs to be more of regular maintenance to do it. Now, we sell a ton of front and rear wheel bearings, and really I've never talked to anybody as to why, other than people are doing preventive maintenance or they had a failure. So if that failure is there, it's because it's got contaminants in it, didn't have any grease in it, and they're just burning up. So it's metal to metal, they're eating themselves apart. So maintenance is a good thing on them. On the other end thing, too much maintenance is not a good thing for them. So you don't want to over grease wheel bearings. And I mean, that's kind of one of those things I show my guys too. Every time we go to the races with the race cars, we always do the wheel bearings, but it's kind of one of those things you got to monitor it. You don't want to put too much grease in them, and I'm going to kind of show you guys how to do that right now. So for starters, this is a KRX 1000 front knuckle, okay? And the first thing you're going to have to do is you can either undo the upper or the lower ball joint, but you're going to have to take it apart so you can knock the axle shaft through. The axle shaft's got to be out to do it. This isn't like Polaris. Completely different designs between Kawasaki and Polaris. On a Polaris, you can actually they made a tool that slides over your axle shaft to grease them. You're not going to find that in a Kawasaki because Kawasaki, the shafts are so big, they fill the entire bearing coming all the way through. So it's a real simple thing what you do with our tool. If you want to look around inside here, you can kind of see that groove on the inside of that bearing. So that groove is where the grease goes and then shoves it out. So once you have taken that axle shaft out, all you simply got to do is put it in. Well, let me show you this. If you guys would notice, this thing is covered in grease in the channels. And that's exactly what we're looking for. You know when you put this in here that when it gets to that groove, you're putting in grease. You're not second guessing if air was going in, so on and so forth, and so many different things. So I'm going to show you guys how to prime it so you know that whole channel is filled full of grease first. And that's really pretty simple, really. You can put it in there, put it all the way down, and pull it back out until you start seeing that top O-ring, like that, and then push it down in a little bit. So once you've done that, you can pump it full of grease a few times, and then pull it out and check it. And once you see it's completely full of grease, like we're talking about, you know this thing's ready to use, and the next pump's gonna go into that groove. So that's what we're gonna do now. So I would recommend 2 to 3 pumps of grease, no more. A lot of people wanna see it coming out. Don't do that. I mean, that is literally too much grease. So just 3 pumps. That's it. So this is being an air grease gun. 3 pumps is like you guys doing 3 pumps on a regular hand one. So it's the same thing, but I'm gonna pull back out. Set that down. Okay, and I don't know if Tommy can get in there and kind of show you guys in that groove, but in that groove now, it's completely packed full of grease. So it shot it into that groove, shot it in the wheel bearings. So as soon as this thing starts moving, it's gonna move the grease where it wants to. And I mean, guys, it's really that simple. That's about it. I mean, it's a simple way to keep maintaining and keep going. So I don't know, pretty straightforward. Hope this tool helps you guys. I know it's something we needed, and we got it going. So hey, Jake from Full Access UTV, as usual, click that like and subscribe button. Me and my family greatly appreciate it, and thanks for watching.